Hold up. Wait a minute.
Bruh.
Did you hit the like button? Drop some rabbits in the chat. Let's go.
Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. If you want the tea, come see me. Rabbit hole is the place to be for real news, not fake news. Celebrity news, breaking news around the clock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock, I rock, I rock. Real talk, best on the block. I rock, I rock. Hit that like, hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat, chat. Hit that like, hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop some, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits, drop some rabbits, drop them, drop them, drop them, drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. True crime is my specialty. Exposing the industry. Unsolved mysteries. Sticking to reality. Fair use commentary. Talking about cults. Trying to get results. Exploring cults. Exploring. Researching. Debunking. Investigating. Being nosy. Super nosy. Being messy. Being shady. Rabbit hole news. That's me. The chick with ADHD. Unmedicated. But quite educated. Hit that like. Hit that like. Welcome to the chat. Let's chit chat. Hit chat. Hit that like. Hit that like. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop some. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Drop some rabbits. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop them. Drop some rabbits in the chat. Drop some rabbits. Hit that like. Hit that like. Let's go. Let's go. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show. Let's start the show.
Hi, everybody. Ooh, it's been a minute since I played my intro, you guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome. Y'all, let me share this. I was like, I got distracted. This is how I do. Hey, shout out to, is Mars in the chat? Thank you, Mars. Shout out to Mar. Shout out to you guys. Thank you, thank you. Happy Friday. It is August the 14th. Happy New Year's. Again, we did say we were going to say Happy New Year's all the way to what, September or something like that? Didn't we say that? Lord have mercy. Hold up, y'all. Let me let the people know that we are live. We're live. We're live. Hold up, y'all. Hey, members. We're live. We're here. All the party's here. We live now in my snooky voice. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. We have so much to review, you guys. So much to review, so much to get into. So we're going to hit the ground running. How are you, Mama Lama? Belen? Elm6832. Shout out to you, love. You heard, hit the like button. Yes, right. Misty, how are you? Sarah Lynn. Shout out to you, Texas woman. Nanya, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else? Who else? New name. Shout out to you. Ms. Dominus, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Pika, my mod, what wonderful, beautiful mod in here. Phoenix Rising, Lulu, don't bother me. Q Smooth, welcome. Let me see who else. Who else? A watch save kids from CSA. Shout out to you. Wendy, how are you? Maramello, thank you for being here. Let's see who else. Is it Tony Lambert? Shout out to you. Nini, shout out to you. Mar, thank you. Appreciate you. Sister Karen, how are you? Thank you, guys. Wendy, Holly Mack, shout out to you. Jessica, thank you. Theo, how are you? Greek lady. Who else? Daphne, Vanessa, thank you. Appreciate it. Karina, how are you, love? Shout out to, hey, there's a lot of new members here that I'm noticing. Shout out to you guys. Welcome to the membership. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Tammy, how are you? Hold up, y'all. It's like, here we go. I'm not a fan of the white wall. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Mags. Welcome, Gloria. How are you? Sonia, Nikki. Who else? May, thank you. Lavender, how are you? Natasha, how are you? Morris, how are you, my love? Misty has been a member for 21 months. Shout out to Misty. Shout out to you, Misty. Not in my snooky voice. GTL, I was watching. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I used to watch that show before. I really did. Now I'm like, no more. I can't watch. Who's watching look, shout out to y'all if you're watching reunions of these people, but I don't think I can anymore. I can't. I think they had babies. They got into prison. Mike, the situation is still a situation. Ronnie and Sam, they're never going to get back together. It'll never, ever, ever be back the same way. Never. Missy, welcome again. Shout out to you, member for 21 months. Shout out to you, love. Let me see. But yeah, it's just never going to happen. Yeah, we got to let it go. Awesome Cow. Is that really your name? Awesome Cow 1. Shout out to you. Oh my God, you wearing a whole costume. Hey, Alexa, Princess Jasmine. Welcome, welcome. Who else? Hopefully I got everybody for the most part. Nikki, Supermom. Nikki's been a member for 11 months. Shout out to you, Nikki. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Aw, Sassy Cass. Welcome, welcome. May Simply Dee Dee. Who else? Yeah, I got everybody. Everybody that's supposed to be here. Hey, Amethyst, how are you? Angie, welcome. Storm, how are you? Margie, Rachel. I'm trying to get everybody, y'all, but I'm gonna be out of breath. Hey, Vicky, how are you? Shout out to Vicky. Who else? Tina. So we're gonna get into a lot of stuff. I heard, and he was gonna be a topic, but I'm like, for why? Okay. Luigi pleads guilty to federal stalking. State murder case dropped. How do y'all feel about that? Because I'm gonna tell you guys something. I mean, I know that America loves Luigi Mangione. Maybe that's a generalized statement. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Does everybody in America love Luigi? Y'all love Luigi Mangione? Now, do you love him because of his looks? Because he's giving you zaddy vibes, or because he is a martyr, or not even a martyr? What would be the word? He took a stand against a CEO of one of the insurance companies. You said good. You said he's good looking. I'm just trying to understand, y'all, because the people really dropped some money on that defense fund. Y'all paid Mark Agnifilo and the Agnifilo. I mean, shout out to them. They got to get paid, the Agnifilos. Mark, mother effing Agnifilo. Shout out to him. You said, I'm not in the US, but I do like him. You do? All right. I told you I got dragged in the comments because I said he looks like Ted Bundy. The Zac Efron version of Ted Bundy. But you guys didn't care for my commentary on that. Yeah. So anyways, you guys can send him some jail mail. Don't send the panties. But he's well, I mean, I don't know, how long is he going to spend in a federal prison for stalking? So not murder? Thank you. It is very messy. Yeah. Don't send him no calzo. Don't send him no dirty panties. Please don't. All right. Please don't. I don't think they allow those there. So is he going to prison for a long time? See, I have an issue with the insurance company. I really do. I do. I think those insurance companies are just horrible. But I don't think I would ever condone the things that he's done. Not the calzones. Yeah, I thought he pled guilty to. Well, no, I think it was. Let's get it right. Let's not misinform. What did Luigi Mangione plead guilty to? And I think that was the rumor, that he was going to take like a plea deal this week or something like that. Hold up. Where did he plead to? Okay, so Luigi Mangione pled guilty to federal stalking charges in the killing of the United Healthcare CEO Brian Townsend, primarily as a strategic gamble to invoke double jeopardy protections and get a separate state-level murder charges dismissed. Because I think he was facing like the death penalty or something. So it's a pled open, meaning he pled guilty to federal indictment counts without a plea agreement or concession from prosecutions. This unexpected maneuver serves a specific legal strategy, it says, targeting state dismissal. So immediately after Mangione admitted to the federal charges, his defense attorneys filed the motion to dismiss his New York state case. Very strategic of him. Leveraging New York law, federal law and state governments are technically separate sovereigns, and that can usually prosecute the same conduct. New York state law provides unique, broader protections against double jeopardy, and it prohibits a separate state prosecution if the allegations arise from the exact same criminal act. So he is avoiding state prison by accepting a federal conviction. His legal team is attempting to completely bypass the state murder trial, which was scheduled to begin. I know, weren't we supposed to go to trial like next month, September 8th? Legal experts know that he may prefer also to serve time in federal prison system rather than the state facility. No, Vicky, not you too. Not you too. See, you surprised me. I didn't know that this. You too, Vicky? No. I am in not Vicky. I am in shock. I would have never thought that this was somebody. He can get up to 36 years. There will be no state trial, period. Not my mod, not my wonderful supporter, Vicky. Damn. Oh my God. I'm amazing. I'm in shock. Shout out to Vicky, man. You did surprise me on that one. Anyways, but he does. Don't get mad at me. Don't drag me in the comments. The guy does look like the Zac Efron version of Ted Bundy. And I got to draw. I got to show you the picture again. Zac Efron. How do you spell? Here you go. Forget how to spell his name. Efron. Here you go. Ted Bundy picture. He does. He totally gives that. He's got the same hairdo. Yeah, look at that. Oh my God. Every time I see him, I said, oh Lord, no. He totally gives Luigi Mangione vibes. Y'all can't even deny it. No, he doesn't. He doesn't. Oh my God. Hey, Jew, how are you, love? Shout out to you. Doesn't he give that? He gives that. I agree, Rabbit. There's just some resemblance. I'm not saying he looks like Ted Bundy. I'm saying he looks like Zac Efron, the Ted Bundy version. I'm finna block Rabbit on her own channel. Damn it. I know. Vicky is down with the Mangione crew. I'm in shock. You said once he's booked, I'm putting monies on that account. Oh. Yo, can you imagine? We would have covered that trial. Vicky and I would have been at odds. It's horrible. Oh my God. Well, shout out to y'all. I guess congratulations. I don't know what to say. I mean, the guy, I don't know, man. You know, the chat's canceling me. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I came in strong. I thought y'all were ready for that. I guess not. Lord have mercy. All right, man. Let's get into this other commentary now. Maybe we should knock this one out the way. I'm waiting for the lawsuit on this. I didn't know that there was going to be a trial here. Now, I know that there was some. Do I have any Marilyn Manson fans here? And that's okay if you are. I'm not going to, shout out to you if you are. Y'all can fan whoever you want to. But any Marilyn, because I know that there were some charges that were essentially. Wasn't there some charges that were dismissed, some lawsuits, a bunch of other women, and so there was a lot into question about these charges? Put it on the chat. No, he scares you. Wow. I know that the girl, what's her name? The girl from 13. See, I can't even remember this actress name anymore. Rachel. I think her name is Rachel. So she was one of the ones that made a bunch of allegations. There was a bunch of women that made allegations against. And the one time I did a video, oh my God, you guys. I mean, they were like, you can't talk about him, and they're trying to cancel. Not everybody. Oh man, I feel like I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it anyways. Oh, don't cancel me on a Friday. Wait till Saturday. Look, Rachel Evan Wood. Thank you. Evan Rachel Wood. That was her name. Something Rachel. Thank you. Oh, she's got one of those three type of. She's a three name celebrity. What's her name? Taylor. Frankie, Paul, whatever. They got three names. That's Evan Rachel Wood. You can't just say one name. You have to say all three at the same time. Shout out to her. Anyways, so what did I say? Don't cancel me today. Cancel me tomorrow. Every time, and I feel like with Johnny Depp, depending on how you guys feel, I wasn't part of that marriage. But he was exonerated to a certain degree. I mean, he took those charges and he took it civil, and he's, he essentially showed the world what was happening behind the scenes. Now, do I think that Johnny Depp is an angel? No, I don't. I think that these are two very flawed individuals. Sorry, I hit my arm. But I don't think that he did the stuff that he was being accused of, right? Very different. Do people make false allegations all the time? Yeah. But what I don't like is when people try to bunch up these individuals. Like the defenders of Johnny Depp were coming into my comments to defend Jared Leto. These are different celebrities, right? So if I start talking about this individual, are y'all going to come over here and say Johnny Depp, Johnny Depp? No, that's a whole different thing. That's a whole different situation. So I just want to know, are you guys going to be like making comparisons? Because I don't think that these are the same caliber of celebrities, the same celebrity or anything. I would probably say that Johnny Depp, right? His stuff definitely exonerated, cleared. He made his case. He took it all the way. He, provided everybody as crazy as that case was, because it really was crazy. I still think that these two individuals are very crazy and, in themselves, very complicated individuals overall. But I wouldn't make the comparison Johnny Depp to Marilyn Manson or Jared Leto. Okay. Two different things. All right. Two different things. Just saying. Yes, I heard about that, Stacey. Off topic, Kendra and Joseph Duggar took a plea deal that if they don't break any laws, abide by certain conditions for a year, they all of their charges will be dropped. Are you surprised? I'm not. Give me 1 sec, guys. Hold up, y'all. I got somebody at my door. I'm about to take the camera over there and see who the hell it is. Y'all can answer the door for me. No, hold up, guys. Hold up. Anyways, thank you, Stacey, for the update. So yeah, I think we have to make some differentiation. So we can't compare all of them. Johnny, not an angel, but she lied to the high heavens. I agree with you on that one, Phoenix. I agree with you on that one. Not Edward Scissorhands. Yeah. You said Johnny and Manson are very good friends. That's cute. That's great. Sometimes you could be friends with people that are being accused of horrific things. Doesn't mean you condone their behavior, right? Different individuals. That's a great question. From this, I know, are the Duggars still on TV? They're trying to ditch the TV now. I'm not a Luigi supporter. Sorry, not sorry. Still love you, Vicky. Shout to Joey. I'm going down, y'all. He said Depp and Heard case was the first case I ever watched, and I laughed so hard. Well, y'all know the level of coverage of that case was pretty insane. I will say that. You said, oh, I watched the Jodi Arias ones. It's worth. From this, I know it. Oh, Jodi Arias is another woman that's, she's in jail forever. Okay. So that being said, though, I just want to make sure that we understand that these are different individuals. They might be best friends, but they're not the same. So when I'm talking about Marilyn Manson, let's not compare him to Johnny Depp. If I talk about Jared Leto, let's not compare him to Johnny Depp, because these are not. And I don't care if you're a fan of the others. There was one when I did a little review of the interviews. I mean, Pika, you were here in the chat. This girl got really upset with us. I said, wait a minute. You upset about what exactly? I know him. I met him. That's great. I don't know the guy. That's cute. We had great interactions with some stuff. I've had interactions with some of these folks, and I don't expect them to be exonerated from things that I wasn't present for or anything like that. Like, that's their thing. You know what I mean? Who was in the chat that day that we premiered that Jared Leto thing? Oh my God. And then you guys saw what I posted in the community wall? This guy was like, oh, these women, they totally wanted to get laid by. I was like, what? And although, y'all, I'm a critic of a lot of this stuff. I really am, because you do have, and we have to recognize some of these people can lie. Men and women can lie. They both. And men and women can be victims. And I think that when somebody's a victim and they take it up, and they're being challenged, and they're willing to stand in that challenge and show, yeah, no, this is what happened to me. It's okay to discern what information is being provided to us. You said people all got crazy. Oh my God. Don't even mention Garth Brooks. Do you know how many people got mad at me over Garth Brooks? But y'all want to talk about Diddy. It's okay, because Diddy and then you got that one lady over there that escaped Epstein Island with 3 women in her back, swimming from the Bermuda Triangle all the way to Little St. James, all the way to the other side. I mean, you guys are okay believing the hype. But when it comes to actually talking about other celebrities that might be your favorite. You guys, some of y'all struggle. We don't keep the same energy. I think it's interesting. I'm here for it. Thank you, Belen. That's right. You were here for that. Some people don't like that kind of stuff. It's hard for sure. Which, by the way, so I'm going to get this lawsuit. I want to review it because I did review many years ago, and I can't even remember everything. And I know that there's like some fierce defenders of this guy. Cool. Shout out to y'all. Whatever. I don't care. Okay, so Marilyn Manson's ex-assistant gets trial date for SA and battery claims. Now, I saw this on my feed last night. I said, oh, well, I mean, didn't he? There was like multiple lawsuits. I didn't even know there was an ex-assistant as well. And I know that there's like a person here who fiercely defends him too. She's brought people on. They say contrary things about him and everything. That's cool. Okay. So apparently a Los Angeles judge granted a trial date Wednesday to the woman who claims Marilyn Manson essayed her at his West Hollywood studio in 2010 and later subjected her to physical and emotional abuse when she worked as his assistant. Now, let me say this, man. Let me get this because I already know whether it's a YouTube bot or a fan. This is educational content. Hello, everyone. Please note that this broadcast is strictly for educational, documentary, scientific, and artistic purposes. It falls under the EDSA. While the themes, imagery, or discussions may touch upon some graphic, sensitive, or challenging topics, the context is entirely analytical and educational. This stream does not encourage, promote, or glorify any kind of behavior or any acts, but rather provides critical analysis and historical documentation. In particular, we talk about a range of topics that fall under EDSA. Thank you for watching, guys. And make sure you hit the like button. All right. So here we go. So let's see. At a court hearing, the judge, Stephen Conrad, noted that the case had traveled a windy road after it was first filed in 2021. 2021, and they're just now going to trial in 2027. Okay. And then dismiss and revive twice. He said he was willing to grant an expedited date if plaintiff Ashley Walters wanted one. When Walters' lawyer requested a date in November of next year, he quickly set the case for jury trial on November 15, 2027. While the date might not sound expedited, it's relatively fast for the county where new trials are routinely being set for the mid-2018. 2018. We're confident the case will never get to trial after the court hears our upcoming motion for summary judgment. Interesting. Gross. All right. Sorry, y'all. So, summary judgment, the musician lawyer Howard King said in a statement after the hearing. So, this is Manson's lawyer. We're confident the case will never get to trial after the court hears our upcoming motion for summary judgment. In her lawsuit, Walter alleges Manson, whose real name is Brian Warner, pushed her on a bed in May 2010, pinned her arms, and tried to kiss her before moving behind her, biting her ear, and forcing her hand into this area. She says she later accepted a job. She later accepted a job as his assistant after he suggested they could collaborate professionally. She claimed he went on to whip her and throw plates at her, force her to stand on a chair for long periods of time, and hurtle her into the wall during a drug-fueled rage. The long-running case has survived multiple challenges by Warner. A different judge dismissed it as untimely in May 2022, but an appellate panel later revived it, allowing Walter to try to show the trauma-induced memory suppression delay her filing. Judge Conrad dismissed the case again in December of 2025 after finding Walter failed to make that showing. But Conrad reversed that decision in January after Walters invoked a new California law, AB 250, that opened a 2-year window for certain previously time-barred SA claims. In June, Conrad rejected Warner's latest effort to dismiss or narrow Walters' third amended complaint. Okay, and let's see. Hold up. Third amended complaint. All right, hold up. Did it go or did it jump over? Here it is. Okay. And it says Warner's lawyers argue that Walter's allegations did not qualify for revival under AB 250 because she could not show she was physically restrained during the alleged SA touching. Conrad said, the judge, said that the dispute was too fact specific to resolve at the pleading stage and allowed the case to proceed, leaving Warner free to challenge the claims later. Beyond her core allegations, Walter also alleges that she secretly brought food and drink to Warner's starving and distraught girlfriend while they hid in his home, and she witnessed Warner throw a prop skull at his former fiancee, Evan Rachel Wood, with enough force to leave a large welt. Warner has denied wrongdoing. Walter first stepped forward in February of 2021 as multiple women, including Wood, accused Warner of physical and emotional abuse. Rolling Stone later published a lengthy investigation in late 2021. I remember this one. After speaking with more than 55 sources, Warner 57 reached out of court settlements with two accusers, including actress Esme Bianco. He previously dropped defamation and harassment claims against Wood. Thoughts and opinions? Let me know. Let me know. You said, wait, it's the girl that claimed that she paid. I have no idea, and that's something to look into for sure. I'm going to pin this. She went on to become his assistant after he forced her. Yep. Don't make no sense. That's what I'm saying. It's okay to look it over, and it's okay to review it. I mean, why not? Let's go. Let's review it. So let me get into the lawsuit. Not today, but I'm going to pin it as one that needs to be reviewed by us at some point. You said, my husband said a long time ago that GB looked psychotic. GB? Who's GB? Don't know. Gen X and Zillennials created the largest rumor in history, and y'all already know what it is without me saying it, says the only Angie. Oh, Lord have mercy. Is that I'm hearing things. Rabbit, did you just say exorcism happened around MM? No, you're hearing things. I never said about an exorcism. Who said exorcism? Did I say that? Oh, G. Brooks. Yeah, I heard about that. Weren't these women caught getting together behind the scenes? That's what they say, Mar. But I'm like, well, did they? What had happened? And if that's the case, why did Manson drop that defamation suit? I would have taken that to court too. Listen, if you got the monies to go. You said they should have never been granted. Oof. Well, we'll pin this lawsuit. We'll get back to it. Now let's talk about another situationship here because we got to move on. All right. So, ay Dios mío, man, everybody. Oh, all right. So, this was. I already said what I said about this one. I'm like, do I really want to? And I thought about this. I was like, do I want it? Well, okay, sure, why not? And then somebody messaged me and said, hey, did you hear the interview that the sister did? I said, okay, sure, why not? Let's talk about Perez Hilton. Okay, so there was another update on his heavily, trafficked, added website ads, Acrobat, Adobe website ads, all this stuff, right? So sister was like, let me give another update. And he says, this is what the website says, the family. Thank you for everyone who continued to check in and send prayers and kind words for Perez and our family, it says. The past several days have been incredibly difficult. I rarely give interviews, but I felt it was important to speak on the record about what happened. Okay. So share what I personally witnessed and address some of the misinformation circulating. What misinformation? Is there misinformation circulating about Perez Hilton? You can read the full interview here. Please note that the interview includes difficult discussions about self-harm, mental health, and medical trauma. All right, so we're going to go ahead and I give you guys the biggest disclaimer. Let's go ahead and get into this. So there was like there's like 2 or 3 parts of this that dropped. I'm not really sure, and I'm struggling with it still. Okay, I really am. But we're gonna have a conversation. He says, Perez Hilton, sister gives harrowing firsthand account of his attempt. I didn't recognize my brother. So Perez's sister shared a heartbreaking firsthand account of the gossip blogger attempt in an emotional interview with Page 6. August 4th will forever be one of the darkest days of my family I have ever experienced. Barbara Lavanderia, I think as I say her last name, exclusively told Page 6 in a phone call on Wednesday, referring to the evening Hilton live stream acts of self-harm on TikTok before being transported to a hospital near his Miami home for life-saving treatment. Okay. So further goes. A lot of pictures. That afternoon, Mario, okay, we know Mario's his real name, Perez, was in his bedroom with the door closed and locked, which wasn't like him. Lavanderia says of her brother, whose real name is Mario Armando Lavanderia Jr., his door was almost always open. Hilton 48 stopped responding to her when she tried to check in, prompting Lavanderia, who was visiting from California, to become concerned. When I knocked, he said he was fine, but I could barely hear him. She said, after I knocked a few times more, and asked him to open the door, he stopped responding. I tried calling his cell phone in case he couldn't hear me, and he wouldn't answer, something I felt strong. Okay. I unlocked his bedroom door and I realized that he was inside the bathroom. I knocked several more times and I told him I was going to come in if he didn't open the door, and he still didn't answer, so I unlocked it. Lavanderia then recounted the devastating moment she realized something was terribly wrong as she came face to face with her brother. When I opened the door, my nightmare became a reality. She said Mario was standing in front of me, was standing in front of the shower, no clothes, cut up, covered in the substance, with a box cutter in his hand. It was a moment she will never be able to erase from her memory. What I can say with certainty is that I didn't recognize my brother when I looked at him. I saw it in his eyes. They didn't look the same. See, I told y'all this is just my assessment. I said, yeah, his eyes didn't look well. Then a split second, he smiled at me and it felt like I was staring at someone else, she shared. In total panic, Lavanderia fled the bathroom, quickly led Hilton's 3 children, Mario. We want privacy for the children, but we'll put their names are out there. Okay, I'm not even going to say their names. They grabbed the children. I left the room, grabbed the car keys, and yelled for the kids to run to the car. Thankfully, our mom wasn't at home at the time, and I was able to get everyone out quickly. Once the children were safely in the car, Lavanderia dialed 911. Okay, so she did dial 911. All right. The first call I made was the police. Then I messaged my best friend who lived nearby while I was on with dispatch and asked her to please come get the kids and take them away from the scene, she said. While much more happened in the hours that followed, Lavanderia, who has an extremely close relationship with her older brother, said she's going to leave many of the specific details because they're too painful and graphic and overwhelming. As we know, Hilton left loved ones and his fans horrified when he shared a live footage to TikTok of him injuring himself. Okay. Let me stop right here. Okay, because apparently the interview continued. And I want to read a comment that somebody left, and I thought it was very important to call something out. Hold up. Let me see. Some are attacking his sympathizers and saying he attacked kids. You know, some people are attacking the sympathizers, and some people are also attacking the critics. And I'm kind of wondering about this because I'm like, I feel like people are like running in circles when it comes to this. And ultimately, we're not going to agree on anything when it comes to this situation. At the same time, I do feel some type of way about people. I have empathy, right? But I can't force empathy on a person that doesn't feel empathy, right? You can't force someone to see somebody else's situation as something that should be empathy, that we should have empathy for. I have empathy for a lot of things. I don't have empathy for other things, right? So personally, I think it's important to note that it's okay to say I'm a critic of this because of X, Y, and Z. This is what I feel like, and I stand on that, and it's important, and yada yada yada. Okay, cool. I have empathy because I see things, maybe I understand that, but not everybody's going to. You can't force it on people, Sorry, y'all, baby bunny came in. So I think y'all gotta like understand that. Yes, there's this. There's so I'm not attacking any sympathizers. You guys can sympathize with whoever. What I don't like is because ultimately, whether this was super, I didn't like the measuring of the cuts. I told you guys that. I'm not down for that. Ultimately, something is not right with an individual, whether it was fake or real, for someone to think that it's okay to go on live stream and do all this. That in itself is not okay. But at the same time, I get the other side too. And I think we also have to have an understanding, because one thing we're forgetting, and I saw this in a lot of the commentary that people were saying, we're forgetting the fact that even though Perez was, he was the worst to a lot of the child stars and the worst to various outing people, taking inappropriate pictures of people. He was, and I get it. He apologized. Okay. But that also plays into people's trauma. The observers as well. If your favorite celebrity is being traumatized, if they're being exposed, if there's nudes pictures out there, if you're seeing your favorite celebrity having a breakdown because of another blogger, that plays into another person's psyche. So I'm like, this shit is twofold, right? That it's like, I get the outrage and it's okay, but y'all can't force people to have empathy for people that they don't have empathy for. If somebody, and I've told you this before, there's some people I just don't have it, and I'm not going to fake it. Why fake it? If you don't have it, I don't wish anything wrong on these people. I don't, or their children, ultimately, but I just don't have the empathy for it. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that. Right? I don't want any fake empathy. So it's important. And I'm also a critic of this. I'm very critical of this situation, because I feel like, for one, like the sister and the family, they're speaking, two ways of their mouth. We want privacy. Don't do this. Don't do that. But y'all are saying stuff that none of us would have ever known. How do you expect Perez to heal or come back to online? You think he's not going to get it? He's not going to get trolled with all this shit when he comes back because of the stuff that y'all put out? We didn't put it out. I didn't go sneaking into the mental health facility to figure out what his diagnoses were. Can't say, the same for him, back in the 2000s, but I didn't do that. You guys put it out. So I'm very critical of the family. Y'all want privacy, but you got their full names up there. The kids' full names at that. Pull back. You got to pull back. Sister says, Lavanderia continues to page 6. Eventually, I was able to go back into the house while I waited for the ambulance and place towels over Mario to help him stop the bleeding. He had already lost a significant amount of blood, yet he was somehow still able to speak, although his voice was very faint. Okay, the ambulance took him to the hospital. I stayed behind to speak with the crisis team that arrived. Lavanderia explained why she bravely chose to open up page 6 about the harrowing details of the horrific days. I've debated for the past few days whether I should say anything personally, she said. Mario has always been an open book. He's a public personality and someone who has shared so much of his life online. There's the pictures, there's all this stuff we don't need. She continued, as his younger sister, I'm the opposite. I'm a very private person, and although I've worked with him for many years, I've always stayed behind the scenes. As the only person who witnessed what happened from the beginning to the end, Lavanderia said she feels that she is the only person who can offer some clarity since so much has happened. I'm talking now for everyone who cares about him and has been sending their best wishes, but also because of all the rumors, false reporting, fake exclusives, and made up quotes going around. Mm-hmm. So I got a different video that I was working on this morning. I'm going to get into this a little bit more. And please know the video, because I was like, damn, do I really want to be? Because here's the deal. Some people will catch it. Some people will know. I don't know about you guys, but like over the last couple of weeks, and I'll just give you a little bit of an update, just real quick. I've already filmed a video. There has been this like push to us, the subscribers. I'm a subscriber of a lot of channels, so I put myself in that bucket. I'm a creator and I'm a subscriber, right? But I don't know about you guys. I'm inundated with mental health stuff that's coming straight from celebrities. Okay. Between the Ariana Grande and between the Selena Gomez, now she's like being, there's that lawsuit with fraud and everything. Like, people play too much about mental health here online. We play way too much and we don't have a really good understanding or concept of it. And the thing is, we got regular people here like myself and many of you guys in the chat, okay, that go to work while we're going through mental health crises, right? We don't have it easy. We have to figure it out. And so for me, it's like, I have a lot of empathy for a lot of these folks, but I know that they're going to be okay. Why? Because they have the resources that a lot of you guys don't, and a lot of us don't. Ariana Grande can take 10 years off and do absolutely nothing while she regains her mental health. While me, Storm, New Name, Cat D, everybody here, Jane, you guys, we got to go to work and we got to I can't take a day off. I am not doing well today and I can't take a day off because I got to pay the rent. We are not the same. We are not the same. So I'm tired of people playing with this shit. Anyways, that's a separate video. Stay tuned. But this led me to this because I had to talk about this in that video. Let's keep going. And as the only person who witnessed what happened, she says, the fake stories, the made up blogs, the quotes going around, she said, I can only share what I personally witnessed and experienced, but I want people to hear directly from someone who was actually there. Okay. And then Lavanderia took a moment to shut down the misconceptions about Hilton's character, shared that he is not the same person he was more than 2 decades ago when he launched his controversial website. I can believe that. I believe that he is not the same person because I would hate to think that someone who's a father is the same person, based on behavior. I don't think he is. I think he's changed. But you're expecting people to love you because of that, and it's just not going to happen. You're always going to have your critics, no matter what, right? The comments calling this karma has been especially painful. I wouldn't wish what my mother, Mario's children, or our entire family's experience on anyone. Good. Nobody would wish this on anybody. Lavanderia understands that people don't like Hilton, while others even hate him. Mario has publicly acknowledged the harm that he caused earlier in his career and said in 2010 he went on network televisions, admitted that the outings, doodles, and other things that he did were wrong, and he apologized repeatedly. Okay, Lavanderia pleaded with the public for some respect as her family navigates this difficult situation. And I'm glad it sounds like grandma might have stepped up and taken temporary custody. I'm glad she did, because that's what a protective family member does. Okay, that needed to happen. If the kids had to flee there, I don't know what they saw or didn't see or anything. I'm glad that somebody stepped up. Good. Glad that he has the resources. Some people don't. They would have wound up in the system. Glad he was able to get those kids, custody arranged. Okay. I'm not asking anyone to forgive or excuse any of that. I also understand that some people will always believe he hasn't done enough despite his efforts. His efforts aren't for us, guys. That's the thing. This is where Perez is wrong. This is where the family's wrong. You can apologize until somebody is, profusely. Every day, remind them. Okay. But sometimes the apology isn't always so much about the public. You're still are you part of the media? Are you part of the problem? How do you move forward expecting growth with what you used to do before? And let's talk about this real quick, because people were getting upset about people talking about Perez's house, right? The house that he lives in right now. I don't know if you guys, let me note something, right? And I think it's okay to say this. He lived in I don't know how many rooms that house in Vegas had. He moved to be closer, it says, to his family, right? He basically downgraded, because if you look at that property, first of all, the house in Florida is still beautiful, right? Yeah, I mean, okay. I couldn't live in the house in Vegas. Y'all see that house in Vegas? It had like, I don't know how many rooms, 3.5 million. What is that? That was the house he was living at. To a certain degree, when he was starting out, he was the only one doing what a lot of people are doing now, right? So he downgrades. And people are like, well, look at this is, maybe that is his financial situation. He's going to have to make it work, right? Still a house. He's still got a roof over his head. Okay. For me, I'd be content with 3 bedrooms, and as long as it's got 2 bathrooms, because I don't like sharing the bathroom separate. I can't do a 12-story, 12 bedrooms and a pool. That's too much, right? But if he was paying, or he paid, or it's worth 3.5 million, where's that money going? Maybe he needs to pay some of this stuff. He's gonna be okay. Perez is gonna be fine. Okay, he's gonna get the help and support that he needs. That's kind of where we're at. People are like, I'm telling y'all, people go through mental health stuff, and it's not to the magnitude, of course, of him, but we've seen stuff. I mean, I don't know if you've ever seen anybody self-harm that is not a public figure. Okay, injure themselves that is not a public figure. It's very shocking when it happens, when you witness something like that. But they are, these are regular people. They're going to be fine. He's going to be fine. Thank you. Thank you. These folks out here fighting battles for celebrities who do not know them. And a majority of them who come to the internet that have accepted his apology. That's right. You give him that. Pray for his recovery. Give him well wishes, but don't expect people to have sympathy for somebody why do you want fake sympathy? Why do you want fake, empathy? Don't do that. Don't force people to do that. For what? Who cares? Like, that's not our place. People are outraged about things. Let them be outraged. Okay. How do we know that this didn't trigger what he did to Britney Spears and all these celebrities? How do we know that didn't trigger that trauma? It's okay to say that. So, anyways, he's sister says, whatever anyone thinks about Mario, his children and our mother are innocent. They shouldn't be punished or tormented because of how people feel about him. There you go. Okay, it says, I don't believe someone should be reduced forever to worse things that they did in their past, especially when they admitted the harm and genuinely tried to grow. Okay. So, I mean, I don't think she's asking people to forgive his past, but, she's asking people to, I guess, and not be so vicious. I don't know. Sources previously told Page Six that his close circle is concerned that Hilton's recent battle with sepsis may have triggered his mental health. In March, we know kind of what happened. It was flu medication. He talked about it, and I guess he's made changes since. I mean, it sounds like it almost took his life. I mean, man, what a difference. So I will say, from that to where he was here, I will say, I mean, this was his nasty era, because he was a very nasty individual. He was. So again, Hilton's mom filed for temporary custody of his 3 children on August 7 as he continued to receive medical care, and as they should. A lot of celebrities were afraid of him, and they say that this is why a lot of these celebrities did a lot of fake poses, so they wouldn't get like called out or anything like that. They were scared of him. He says that his sister told Page Six that she's grateful to Hilton's loving fans who have supported him through his career, and says, what I can say now on behalf of our family is that we're deeply grateful for every kind message, prayer, and expression of genuine concern. The support has meant so much to us that I can properly express. Okay, I can't properly express, she says. I don't know. I go back and forth, but at the same time, it's like we can't force empathy on people that don't feel it, and you shouldn't want to do that. Don't do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Now, let me shout out some people, because I didn't want to ignore people. Sorry about that. I don't want this to I got to stop every once in a while. Mara Mello, thank you so much for your 26-month membership. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Thank you. Mags, thank you for the jewels. Jew, thank you for the floating heart. Thank you, love. Shout out to you. Not for nothing. Thank you so much for the jewels. Thank you, love. Jewel, thank you so much for the, she says, for the jewels. Marshmallow high, or Marshmallow high. Is it Marshmallow high? Thank you. Sienna, thank you so much for the floating heart. Thank you. Nebby, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you. If y'all have been gifted and blessed by Nebby, put some hearts in chat. This heart's going to work. Hearts. Thank you. Appreciate it. Wim, thank you for renewing your membership, Wim. Shout out to Wim. Shout out to you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for renewing your membership, Wim. I hope you're doing well. All right. So, let's see. I go back and forth, and that is okay. And that's what I did in a video that I'm going to drop probably tomorrow morning. And I have a lot of thoughts, and I thought about this, man. I even made some correlation to a Mexican TV novela when I was going back and forth to it. Y'all gonna be like, why is a Mexican telenovela? What do Mexican telenovelas have to do with me? And it was the one thing I could think about when I was thinking about this whole mental health stuff. Yvonne, thank you so much for the jewels. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my God. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to check my sentence on my birthday, 58 months. It is the OG mod, first channel supporter, I might say. She was the first, was Vicky. Her birthday was this week. Y'all drop some cakes and hearts for my boo, my supporter, Vicky, who also supported us in the transcripts. Thank you so much, love. But yeah, 58 months. I don't think nobody else. I can't think of anybody else who's at a 58 month. 58 month. Thank you, Vicky. Shout out to you, love. Thank you, thank you. And may you be blessed with many more. Okay. And Nikki, thank you so much for the jewels. Thank you, and the thumbs up. All right. Thank you, thank you. Okay, let's move on because this article dropped yesterday, August 14th. Let's talk about D4VD briefly. There's some other stuff that's coming about. And next week, we're going to be very busy with the Tupac KFD trial and everything that's coming up with that. Very interesting stuff. So y'all going to see us. We're going to be streaming a lot next week. It's many hours. So make sure you guys join us. I already got everything ready, layouts, everything. Y'all going to really like it. It's going to be good. And I'm excited to watch with you guys because it's like 30 years. My goodness. Is this going to be closure? Do we have the right person? Where are we at? So I'm here for it. But there is going to be a D4VD hearing, I believe, on the 31st of August. We're also going to be covering D4VD on the 31st. Then we'll jump on Tupac, because we got to keep with both simultaneously. But real quick, the Los Angeles Times dropped this like opinion piece. I wanted to talk about it real quick. After this, we're going to move on to the grand jury transcripts for KFD. So stay tuned. So body bags, chainsaws, a burn cage, D4VD case shows extremes of online shopping. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think we said this when we heard the pleading, the first brief that was dropped. It was kind of one of those things where it's like, damn, you can buy a body bag on Amazon. In addition, like who's checking these Amazon bags? If you can buy a body bag, a chainsaw, a pool, well, the chainsaw I don't think was Amazon, but like all these things that it's like, is anybody checking this stuff? What's going on? So it goes. Prosecutors say that the singer D4VD bought several items he used to get rid of the body of teenager Celeste Rivas Hernandez, including chainsaws, cadaver bags from online marketplaces. Amazon sells a wide range of cadaver bags online, but legal experts say they have legitimate use and vendor isn't responsible if a buyer uses them for nefarious reasons. Well, okay. Maternal Instincts, the Netflix documentary, y'all. The lady bought a pregnancy belly from Amazon. I went and I was like, let me go see if I can buy myself a pregnancy belly. Yes, Mrs. K. Well, burn cages are used for like, I guess farmers use burn cages too, right? So you can buy burn cages for like things like, to burn dead animals and stuff like that. People do use them. But if it's being delivered to like California, you know what I mean? Like, or something, I have to kind of wonder. You know what? We totally do. This is such a good idea. And I have to talk to my mods about this. We do need a buy me a coffee link for the mods. Now, I'm not even joking. I'm serious about that. I really do want that. So mods, maybe we need to have a conversation about that. Okay. We could talk about that. I've seen other channels have buy me a coffee for their mods. I think it'd be great. So let me know. Anyways. So I have to kind of wonder about this pregnancy bellies, stuff like that. And I mean, even the LA Times article says that the best selling body bags on Amazon is just $24.43. It says by ordering such items directly to his residence, the singer did prosecutors a favor, the experts say. Okay, so the best body bags sell on Amazon for $24.43 with 8 candles. 8 candles. I'm sorry, I can't even read. 8 handles. The shiny black sack is capable of holding up to 300 pounds. The items are described as leak proof, and it can be used to transport goods and carry supplies for hiking. But it's also helpful for decomposed body transfer if needed. This is according to the site. Hold up. Does it really say that? Can I click? Let me click the link, y'all. Oh, I can't show you this because it's going to show. Oh, y'all are, this is not even. Let me see. Hold up. Let me see if I can pull this. I thought we were joking. Maybe I can pull it on Safari because it leads to my Amazon and I'm not trying to show my Amazon here. Oh, geez. Hold up. Let me open a new page in Safari. Y'all can see this ish. Okay, yeah, this is perfect. This is what it says. Oh, yeah, can't make this up. Can't make this up. Let me remove this. Here it is. Prime Care BB 3201 body bag stretcher combo with 8 side handles, center zipper, waterproof bags for outdoor camping, hiking, sleeping. It says leak proof. 8 handles are constructed of high quality and durable, I don't even know how to say that word, material capable of accommodating 300 pounds. Leak proof. Convenient center zipper. The outdoor body bag stretcher has a waterproof and leak proof. So it's easier and convenient to slip in a body. It really says it's easier and convenient to slip in the body. You can't make this ish up. Hold up, guys. Baby Bunny's giving me attitude right now. Says there are 8 built-in carry handles to move goods, typically decompose body transfer if needed. Many of the hospitals have started using our heavy-duty bags in special cases. Multi-purpose usage can be used for camping, so you can use it for all kinds of things. Okay. Girl, I don't know, man. Y'all let me know. What do you think? Let me go back to the screen. All right. She's doing the most. Anyways, so this is we just showed you the Prima Care BB 3201 body bag stretcher combo. Sits on the top list of dozens of best-selling cadaver bags on Amazon. All but one of the items appears designed for the actual transfer of human remains or animal corpses. While such items are primarily used by hospitals or coroner's offices, most of the body bags on Amazon can be bought for less than $50 by anyone with a credit card and a minute to spare. It may seem odd that such items are so easy to purchase online, but testimony heard last month during a preliminary hearing in the murder case against David Anthony Burke, better known as D4VD, okay, showed the average shopper is just a few clicks from the tools needing to dismember and make a body disappear. Burke is, of course, we know what he's charged with. I don't want to review things we already know. Burke, again, has pleaded not guilty to all the charges and denied wrongdoing through his attorney. The LAPD detectives testified last month that after the killing, Burke ordered multiple chainsaws, cadaver bags, shovels, a burn cage from nefarious online retailers, including excuse me, not nefarious, various online retailers, including Amazon and Home Depot. So evidence of the blood was found on Burke's garage, according to the LAPD forensic analyst. Hernandez's parts were severed and stacked in body bags when police discovered the remains in the trunk. Now, they didn't recover the alleged tools used that they're saying that Burke used to sever Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Okay, but it says that he ordered 3 chainsaws, authorities said, but officials found only 2 during a search of the garage where detectives believe he cut up Hernandez. Tests for blood came back negative, and so-called burn cage was never opened, officials testified last month. So they had the legal experts, and somebody says here, look at this is Nima Rahmani. You guys know that he does a lot of he's a defender of TMZ. He's a former federal prosecutor, and he does a lot of the legal commentary here online. I've seen him a lot. He says, I can buy pipes. I can buy a scale. I can buy baggies. I can buy vials. I can buy needles. Is the DEA going to show up at my house if I buy all that stuff? Rahmani asked. Well, what was that one book? My Zillennials, and even people, but what was that one book that go back to it was found in the Columbine shooters' possessions. It's a book that's been purchased by a lot of people. Thank you. This book right here. Lord have mercy. I'm surprised I didn't block you. This one. And this book was banned by a lot of people. Okay. You can ban the books, but you don't have to ban the material to make the stuff. Ain't that interesting, right? Ban the books, ban the house. I mean, what are you going to do? Ban the internet? I mean, there's this side. They say that it's the black, what is it called? The dark web. I was going to say the black dark web or something. The dark web. You can't even ban things from this place that they call whatever that is. I've never been, So it's I don't get how all of this works, right? They must on Amazon, but if they buy them all in separate transactions, will it be able to catch it? It's a great question. The black market, that's right. So I have a lot of questions about this, but man, but then again, because I do a lot of true crime, I could probably be in somebody's list because I'm looking at different things. You know what I mean? Ooh. You said, dude, there was recently a guy who door dashed, saw, and he used it to do, what? Criminals get lazier and lazier. Oh, so we are door dashing the weapons that are going to be used. So Rahmani is saying here that it's is the DEA going to show up at my house if I buy all this stuff? If you buy all this stuff at, scales and baggies, and does that mean that they're going to show up at your house? I don't know. An Amazon spokesperson did not respond to an inquiry from the Times. The singer's defense attorney, Blair Burke, declined to comment on what, if anything, her client bought online after Hernandez's disappearance last year. Rahmani said that the trail of circumstantial evidence could be, used to bolster the first-degree murder case against Burke, helping to convince jurors he acted with intent. In hindsight, it looks super suspicious, Rahmani said, but 99% of the people who buy chainsaws are not trying to cut up young girls. They essayed. Okay. Then it further goes that Joshua Ritter, a former LA County prosecutor turned defense attorney, questioned whether online retailers should have alert systems set up if a person buys a number of different legal items that could be used in conjunction for something illegal. So if you buy a cadaver bag, a burn cage, a pool, a saw, how many items can you buy to then say, okay, this is a flag, but what if this is a Halloween party? And it's not even for this. Let me know. What if it's a Halloween party type of situation? Then he says, okay, then you have another former prosecutor who says, also, he found it hard to believe that the body bags are offered for purchase. So if he bought a cadaver bag along with the chainsaw, there's a bunch of stuff you could see so clearly that something bad could be happening. Does Amazon even care? So this is Dmitry Gorin. Dmitry, that name sounds very familiar. He says, also said he found it hard to believe that the body bags are offered for purchase. Online retailers appear to make it very easy and convenient to put together a possible murder kit. Experts said that Burke's decision to order the potential dismemberment supply directly to his home didn't help his case. He was already linked to Hernandez long before the investigator search. Yeah, this was a stupid. I mean, that didn't help at all. He thought, well, I'll put it in a different name. Okay, how did that work? So it goes into the history when she was reported missing. Prosecutors will argue that this circumstantial evidence is proof that Burke killed the victim despite not having a single eyewitness to the act. And these guys, by the way, these reporters look very familiar to me. They were actually the ones that broke the story of the grand jury. They broke it. I remember them too, because I still have the article from then. But yeah. So should we be flagged? What are we doing? Let me know. Remember, the internet lives forever. Well, apparently, so do your orders. So do your orders. I'm eating the Tootsie Roll, y'all. Orange. I like the fruity Tootsie Rolls. Let me shout out some people before we move on. You said, if Google comes for us, we are cooked. I'm telling you, man. You said we can't be giving the government that much permission to be looking at our ish. Miss K, but okay. Should there be a flag? That's the question. If somebody is ordering what looks to be like a murmur kit, and then who decides? Who decides? That's what I want to know. Who decides that looks like you're buying a murder kit? Is that going to be a robot? You said, you know what? I said I was eating a Tootsie Roll, and y'all said, not for nothing, said Diddy vibes, Tootsie Roll. Y'all, you know what? Diddy can't. So Diddy has ruined the Tootsie Roll for us, y'all. Thanks, Nancy Grace. Thank you. Thank you. You guys can make this shit up. Anyway, shout out to Wim. Just gifted. Wait, first of all, Wim gifted like 15. Thank you, Wim. Thank you for gifting 15 members. Thank you. Thank you, Wim, y'all. If you've been gifted by our gifters, put some hearts in the chat. Thank you, Wim. Appreciate you. Hold up. Let me make sure I remove that so I don't do it again. Nikki, thank you so much for the jewels. A dog's mom, thank you so much for the silver star. Thank you. Penelope Page, thank you so much for renewing your membership, love. Shout out to you. Starter Wife, thank you for becoming a new member. I'm a member for 32 months. Where have you been? I haven't seen you in a minute. I hope you're doing well. Shout out to you. And my wonderful, beautiful mod, Pika. I will never be as cool as and catch up to Vicky, LOL. Streak to that like button. Thank you. Shout out to y'all. I got to talk to my mods about a buy me a coffee thing. I think that would be a good thing to do. I like that idea. And shout out to, look at 41 months. Thank you, love. Oh my goodness. And thank you, Wimmy, again. Thank you for supporting the channel. All right. Ada, thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you. Sylvia, thank you for the laughing disco. And thank you for the corgi. Man, I wish I could see these little things. I really could wish I could see them. Yeah, so Nancy Grace, let me show you. Speaking of Nancy Grace and the Tootsie Rolls, it's going to lead to D4VD before we jump to KeyVD. Hi, Nancy Grace. Nancy Grace. You know, Nicole Kidman, I don't know, this just came to my feed, but Nicole Kidman apparently, she was told not to marry Tom Cruise. Why don't we ever, we never listen, huh? She was told not to marry Tom Cruise. Anyway, side note, Tom Cruise is crazy. Yeah, Rabbit, I don't know where my wig is at right now. Y'all gonna have to forgive me. The wig is somewhere over here. But listen to what she says, y'all. Listen to what she says. And this is pertaining to D4VD. Exclusive. D4V. I feel like she's like, ooh, she's digging in those D's and the 4s and the V's.
Shell tonight. D4VD. David Anthony.
D4VD. D4VD. Bombshell exclusive tonight.
Burke has somehow managed to become a jail VIP, getting hot meals including turkey, cranberry sauce, dressing, dinner rolls. What? This after we discover his
What? I found my black and my brown eyeshadow. I was like, where'd it go? Now we got makeup and we got the white. So we go right here. But we need to highlight that wig. That wig's not doing it for me. D4VD.
his bizarre one-word post following Celeste's murder. That one word?
I didn't realize. I don't know if it's like is it like the country's one murderer following
Decay. Bombshell tonight.
I was like, girl, that was like news from I don't know how many weeks ago. She broke it. Why is it getting Thanksgiving? I don't know. Are they cooking the food? Literally. Will the rabbit please? D4VD. I'm like, girl. And then somebody in the chat was dragging her. Someone said, I love when Nancy says, what? Also, cranberry sauce, dinner rolls. Is it Thanksgiving? Someone said, can someone tell her that D4VD is just pronounced? Don't say it. Just say David. That's what they said. Hold on. Let me see what they said. They're dragging her in the comments. That's his last meal. Oh my God, that's what somebody said. He needs one sandwich a day with no mayo. Are they doing Thanksgiving in the prisons right now? I mean, it's not the holidays. I love the what? Oh man, yo. If you care about the truth, why are you working with Fox? Oh shit. Yeah. We don't like Fox. Okay, well, I don't like Fox. I'll say that for myself. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like I need a massage after that, after watching that. All right, y'all. Let's move it on. Let's do a little transition. Okay, so this is what I want to do before we transition, real quick. We're gonna read. We read, what is it? Volume 3 yesterday. We're gonna read 4. We're gonna start on 4. If I don't get the full as far as I want to go, I will be back live tonight so we can finish reading 4. Then tomorrow we could do 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we'll finish before Monday. So we'll be ready, prepared for the grand jury transcripts. By the way, I've not been able to get the access into the system. So truly, we have this information pretty exclusively here on this channel, the grand jury transcript. And I got a sneak peek. You know who was a witness? I think you guys know Reggie. Reggie was a witness, right? Y'all know that, right? So before we transition, let's get into, let me refill my stuff, get my water and everything. Some of y'all are not really here for the commentary, but it's Friday. Let's do some music. And I might have to like crop this off so we can get this monetized, but that is okay. All right, let me go get my water, y'all. I'm gonna leave you playing this while I get a little refill. Here we go, man. Here we go. All right. We are back. You said, man, we're going to need some Hennessy and Alizé. Don't take me back to those days because those are very foggy for me. Back in those days, the Hennessy and Alizé days. Oh, my goodness, man. No regrets, right, y'all? No regrets. We have no regrets of our youth. Shout out to everybody in the chat. All right, y'all. We got it. Let me make sure. A couple things I want us to watch before we get started. There was shout out to here it is. Let me go here. Shout out to Joe for Somebody's podcast. Joe, this is the one that you sent me. I actually had seen it, so thank you for sending it to me again because I completely forgot to save the link. But let me shout out some folks here before we get started. Oh my goodness, y'all. Hold up. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Yeah, I know. But it's just like it's Friday. We gotta have some music. You know, you can't not do music if you're going to talk about Tupac, at least a little bit. You know, I'll figure out the copyright. We'll figure it out. Abraham, thank you so much for your 14-month membership. Shout out to you, Abraham. I know it's been long. It feels like longer. It had to be with the ex-Scientology. I think it's when you started following me around that time. Shout out to you. Thank you. And you've never left. Thank you. Appreciate you, Abraham. You're a real one. Soul, thank you so much for the gold coins. Thank you again, girl, for the gold coins. Thank you. Maggot, remember, whoa, 12 months. Dang, girl, thank you. A year, shout out to you. Thank you. Poetically speaking, shout out to you. Thank you for the laughing disco. Tracy, thank you so much for the jammins. Thank you. Soul Power, thank you for the flower. Sylvia, thank you again for the jamming. Aw. Nikki, thank you for the flower. And thank you. Mar, thank you. Jukebox Money Rabbit, thank you for the $4.99. Thank you. And also thank you so much for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Girl, we're gonna go. I told Baby Bunny, listen, I need a couple minutes here to read some of the stuff, and then I'll take you out and we'll go out and we'll do a happy meal, something. Tracy, thank you. Turn it up. Thank you. Just Joan, thank you so much for this. I appreciate it. Tracy again for the mic drop. James, our resident comedian, thank you so much for the super chat. And New Name, thank you so much for the butterfly. All right, y'all. Let's get it together. Let's get into this commentary because we got to get it together. Thank you so much, love, again, for the butterfly. Thank you, guys. You guys can also support by hitting the like button. And Wim, I think the system is stuck. Thank you, Wim, for gifting. I think Wim just gifted again, but I don't know if that was like, what? It's weird. It's like stuck. It's so weird. Anyways, let me stop. Thank you. Soul Power says, Rabbit, I can't believe it's been 14 months. I feel like it's been longer. Thank you, Soul Power. Shout out to you, love. Thank you. Appreciate you. And oh my gosh, a New Name, 18 months. Damn, you guys are really like long time, man. Thank you, guys. All right. Let's get into this. Then we got to get into the transcripts because we got to get into it. So listen to this ish right here. Director. And by the way, notice how the media is spelling Keefe D's name. I get it. Keefe D. We're saying Keefe D. And then I did like a general search of the name to figure out if it's like, are people saying Keefe D? No, they're saying Keefe D. He's spelling it Keffed. We said Keefe D. I don't know, man. I don't know. I know Wim is amazing. Shout out to Wim.
Has been selected in the Tupac Shakur murder trial. Pretty amazing to say. They started with a group of 36 prospective jurors, which was whittled down to the 12 jurors, 4 alternates who are going to decide whether Dwayne Keefe D. Davis orchestrated Tupac's killing. Now, I'll tell you, finding a jury in a case of this well-known, not easy. Lawyers didn't just ask, have you heard of Tupac Shakur? They were asked if they ever heard or listened to his music, if they had followed the case all these years, if they had ever been connected to a gang. They were even questioned about their favorite books and movies, even if they had nothing to do with the case.
Wait, they asked the jurors if they've ever been part of a gang? They really did ask, though. Huh? I guess that would be a question for a juror. You would want to, yes, you would want to know.
They were also asked if they would be able to handle what would be graphic crime scene and autopsy photos. So what do we know about the jurors? Obviously not much. You never know their identities, but the 12 jurors and 4 alternates include 10 women, 6 men. We know the opening statements are expected on Monday, and then you're going to get to the witnesses. And that reported list includes Suge Knight, Death Row Records boss, who was driving the BMW when Tupac was shot, although there is a question if he'll testify. Former LAPD Detective Greg Kading, who investigated the case, recorded Keefe D's now infamous account. Reggie Wright Jr., former Death Row security chief, we actually had him on the show last night, confirmed that he has been subpoenaed. And
he's a witness. He was a witness for the grand jury. By the way, Greg Kading was not a witness for the grand jury, just so people are aware.
In that interview, we also brought up another potential witness, filmmaker Mike Dorsey. Now, Dorsey produced and directed the documentary Murder Rap, inside the Biggie and Tupac murders, built around Kading's investigation and Keefe D's recorded account. And years before Keefe D was arrested, it was Dorsey who helped push the case back into the spotlight, campaigning for the Las Vegas police to act after Keefe D publicly talked about being in the car with Tupac's killer. So did that public pressure help turn a decades-old cold case into the trial we're watching now? Let me ask the man himself, Mike Dorsey. Thank you so much for taking the time, sir. Do you think that if it wasn't for you pushing, we wouldn't be here right now? And by the way, are you amazed that we're here right now?
I am. It's a surreal moment. I mean, almost 3 years ago, Keefe D was arrested, and I sat there in my home and watched the press conference with the police, announcing the arrest, and that was surreal. And now that the jury is actually seated and we're going to trial next week, I'm experiencing that all over again. As for whether or not they would have made the arrest or not, it's hard to know if they would have, discovered Keefe D's public confessions eventually. I think because I called attention to it in early 2018, when the BET series Death Row Chronicles aired his first ever public interview, that started them on the trail sooner. And I also think it helped that we had finally there at Las Vegas Police a detective who was fully committed to closing out this case before he retired. So it was a mixture of factors.
By the way, just for everybody who's following, doesn't know the details of it, you made Murder Rap about the investigation, right? Do you know how much of this case the jury is about to hear is completely brand new, new evidence, new theories, or how much has it been around for all these decades and it's just now being presented in front of a jury?
I think it's the latter. I think a lot of it's been around for a long time. I think police knew within weeks who did it. I think the TVD, Dwayne Davis, the defendant, his nephew, Orlando Anderson, was always the prime suspect from day one. And they knew that this was what happened. I think they just needed that extra bit of evidence in order to make a case. And that evidence, coincidentally, was provided by TVD himself when he started doing public interviews. Now it was 8 years ago. So that's what they needed. They needed Keefe to do these interviews.
I'll talk about what his defense is there. But do you know if you're going to be called as a witness and what you'd be asked?
Yes, I can reveal here for the first time. Actually, I have been subpoenaed and I will testify. So I'm prepared to go. And I provided them with some evidence that I'm not going to go into publicly, but that they need me there to help introduce.
So he's going to be a person. He's going to testify. Lord have mercy, man. Okay. All right, then.
So I will be testifying, absolutely.
Okay, we'll wait and see that. Look, Keefe D has said now that what he allegedly said.
All they need is Vlad. Get Vlad in here, right? Get Vlad in here.
In so many different times was all made up, right? That he exaggerated it to sell, books, that he was trying to make money. Which version of Keefe D's story rings true to you?
I think the version that he's been giving for the last few years, he's more believable, in my opinion, when he was giving these public interviews when he didn't think there were going to be any repercussions. Now that he's facing life in prison, I find him far less believable because now he is facing repercussions for what he said. And I also find his explanations now completely ridiculous. He's claiming that he didn't write his book. Fine, we knew he had a co-writer on it, but he's saying he didn't even know what was in the book. He's claiming he didn't even know the book was going to be published.
If they bring manuscripts of this book, we did talk about this yesterday. He could have a defense on this, guys. He really could. Look how the book spells his name and look how everybody spells his name. I mean, there's different things that you could look at. So I don't know, man. Anything could go. Anything can happen. He could say I didn't write it.
I just find that completely ridiculous. He's been promoting the book since before it even came out. So he literally held the book up on YouTube and said, "This is my book. This is the real truth. You should read it." So
let me ask you this.
It's a bit ridiculous.
Let me ask you this. If the jury is kind of conflicted about whether or not he wrote the book or whether or not he's being truthful, what's the other strong evidence against him? Is there enough, right? I mean, they're talking about a very old case. I don't know. I believe it's a murder weapon. I think they don't have the car in terms of direct eyewitnesses. What do they have?
They have, luckily, there was a lot of really good police work done back in the 90s, back when this case was fresh. They have statements recorded, some of them written down from informants, gang informants.
Informants, hey, we don't have any witnesses. Remember if you missed yesterday's review, we had Edie Amin went and did the grand jury interview as well. He was subpoenaed. He gave his testimony. He said that nobody had guns. He said what he saw. He talked to Tupac before he passed away. He had a conversation with him. You guys got to go check it out. Last night we talked about it. And then there was the security person that was playing. He was security for one of these hotels, guys. He saw somebody from one of the cars who had a gun. So when they said they weren't armed, I don't think that that's quite the truth. There was so much that was revealed from Volume 3 last night. You got to check it out.
Informants in Keefe's own gang who have provided information that corroborate what he's saying now, or what he was saying in his public interviews. His nephew Orlando Anderson was reportedly going all over Compton bragging about committing this murder. The whole neighborhood knew it. So when Keefe went public, it was kind of just finally reconfirming all this other evidence that they already had. And as far as placing himself in Las Vegas, for example, now he's trying to say he wasn't even in Las Vegas, even though he places himself there. One of his closest friends back then gave a statement back in, I think, 2006 to police, where he listed the people there, and he listed Dwayne Davis, Keefe D, as being one of the people there. So I get that. I think in this day and age, you'll hear a lot of prosecutors complain about kind of the CSI effect of, there's not going to always be this silver bullet piece of evidence, DNA or whatever. But I think when the jury hears all of his statements that he has to say, I think they're going to make the conclusion that what he was saying back then was very credible.
It was problematic for him to do an interview so close to the trial. Before I let you go,
amazing.
Suge Knight reportedly was there, right? He seems to have no interest in testifying. But what do you think? You think he'll end up testifying?
I don't think he will. Suge Knight, people should remember, is also a victim. He was struck by shrapnel or something during the shooting. He was hit in the head. So he's one of the victims in this, not just a witness. But also Suge Knight is doing a long prison sentence. And he has stated very clearly he does not want to be seen as sending someone to prison.
Yeah.
At being in prison himself. And if you talk to anyone who used to be incarcerated, they all tell you prison, they wouldn't wish that on their worst enemy. And I think that's the situation he's in now. He doesn't want to be seen as snitching. And he definitely doesn't want to be seen as that when he's got at least, I think another decade left to serve. But I do think when you read between the lines, if he could exonerate Keefe D, that would be the opposite of informing on him. That would be setting a man free. Yeah. And the fact that he's not willing to do that, to me, says a lot. But Suge has also made so many conflicting statements over the years. He's even gone so far as to say Tupac's still alive, that he's problematic.
Someone
for
told me
either
that today.
Or
someone actually said, I believe that. So look, by the way, it's just, it's remarkable that we're here. And I've said this before. I think it's remarkable, the lasting legacy of Tupac Shakur and how much people are invested and care and are looking at this. I think that says a lot about who that man was. Mike Dorsey, thank you so much for coming on. We will see you on the stand maybe. All right.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
Shut up, Cuomo. All right. Let's talk about this next witness. Robert Ladd, L-A-D-D. He did an interview with The Art of Dialogue. When was this? Hold up. 2 years ago. This is Robert Ladd. He did an interview. He was a witness for the grand jury.
So before we end this interview, right, because I don't think I got your reaction. What was your reaction when Keefe D got arrested for Tupac murder?
Well, I was elated. I was very happy because, we worked our asses off on this case for like a month straight, man. We had, 5 members of our gang unit for a month straight, work on this case. And I'm not saying we solved it. I'm not saying anything like that, but I was sure happy that Vegas finally went forward and the truth finally came out. I feel vindicated a little bit because 27 years ago, we told them who did it. We told them the players involved. We gave them the motive. And I was sure happy that the DA's office and the Metro Las Vegas homicide guys finally went forward with it.
That's a big deal, man. So back in 96, you was the first one that presented, the Vegas PD with any kind of evidence on who killed Tupac before anyone did.
Well, Reggie Jr. was the head of security for Death Row, and his father was my boss. He was lieutenant in charge of our gang unit in Compton. So the night Tupac was shot, naturally, his father found out about it. So he called myself and my partner, Tim Brennan. They called us at home, and he goes, "Hey, man, Tupac and Suge were just shot in Vegas. It doesn't look good. They're telling me it's Southside Crips. It's coming back to Compton. So you guys better get ready because it's coming back." So, and sure enough, 2 days later, man, we had our first shooting, and then we had 10 days of hell. I mean, we had 3 murders, 11 attempted murders. We had shootings going back and forth between the Southside Crips and Mob Piru, which is Suge's entourage, So we really, and then we're trying to deal with Vegas at the same time, exchanging information. So there was a lot going on at this time.
Right. But I want to backtrack, right? Because you said his name earlier, Eazy-E. How was his reputation around Compton?
Oh, well, again, he was over there by Kelly Park, Atlantic Drive, these Crip areas right around there. That's where he grew up. And then again, we used to see Tim and I arrested him one time. He used to sell dope. I mean, he even admitted that he started his label from money made selling dope. So again, we watched these guys. We used to see him all the time. They used to sell their underground CDs at the Compton swap meet. So we'd go up there because the swap meet was complaining about him because they'd have a group of like 500 people wanting their. This is before they became big time. There was a huge group outside, and they were mad because no one was coming in the swap meet. They wanted all these underground tapes from NWA, so we had to go shoo them off all the time. Yeah, man, he actually put NWA. They put Compton on the map. No one really heard of Compton before NWA came out, so they actually put Compton on the map. Then of course you had Death Row Records that also put Compton on the map.
There you go. So many artists.
I watched these guys grow up. That was
All right, so he was a witness to the grand jury, y'all. So let's go ahead and remove that and share with you what I have here. And here we go. Is this it right here? This is Robert Ladd. Okay, so he goes up. Now this is, the date is, go up a little bit. March 24th, 2023. Okay. So from here, let's see, Mr. Ladd, here it is. So Mr. Pala, who is the DA, right? He's one of the attorneys. He starts the interview with Mr. Ladd, or former Detective Ladd, right? And he says he's retired. What are you retired from? I'm a police officer for 32 years. Can you tell us about your employment history? He says, yes, I was hired full-time by the city of Compton in 1983. Compton is like a 10 square mile city and has a population about 100,000 people. And when I first started in 1983, there wasn't one residential area that wasn't claimed by the Crips or Bloods when I first started, he says. I spent 5 years in patrol, and during this time, this is basically my introduction into the Crips and the Bloods, because basically most of the activity in our radio calls were based around the gang activity at that time. So I learned a lot about, you know, the way they dress, the territories that they claim, and I did this for 5 years until I was promoted to the gang unit in 1988, he says. Now, my duties as a gang officer were to photograph and identify gang members, gather intelligence, basically investigate all gang-related activity, all gang-related crimes. Now, when I first got into the gang unit in 1988, Compton was a very violent city. We were averaging in this little small town 70 to 80 homicides a year, and hundreds of shootings going on at a time, at this time between Crips and Bloods. So what I did is I went on a daily basis and I contacted gang members. When I arrested them, I would speak to them, and I would go into the streets and I talked to them as on a casual basis too. And I saw the same people over and over again because it's such a small city. So I got to know a lot of the gang members, you know, in each territory. We had over 55 active gangs, and at the time in this 10 little square mile city. So I did this until 1993, where I was promoted to gang homicide detective, and I was there until 2000. Man, that's a lot of years to be in one area. So I spent 12 straight years in the gang unit in Compton. And during this time, I handled hundreds of homicide cases and thousands of shootings. And basically, I got to know the way gang members talk, the way they think, and the way they act. Basically, their overall mentality about gang life in general. And hold up. And also during this time, I testified in excess of 100 times as a gang expert in the criminal court system. From 2001 to 2013, I left Compton and went to a different agency, Garden Grove, and I was there for 13 years. So from 2001 until 2010, I spent a lot of time teaching about Crips and Bloods at gang seminars, some very big prestigious ones. One was right here in Vegas called No Gangs, where 1,000 officers from around the country and around the world would show up to learn about Crips and Bloods. I also did it in California many times too, and same thing, thousands of officers came to learn about Crips and Bloods from all over the country and all over the world, basically. And also, I was a police officer for 32 years, so about 25 or 26 of them I spent in the gang unit. It's fair to say, okay, here's a question from the DA. It's fair to say when it comes to Crips and Bloods, particularly in Compton, you're one of the, particularly from the from the 90s, you and maybe your partner, who was Tim Brennan, were the predominant experts in that particular area? He answers yes. Question. All right, I'm going to ask you about some of the 90s gangs in Compton, he says. Okay. You mentioned Bloods and Crips. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the Crips in Compton? Oh man, this guy likes to talk. Here we go. He says, yeah, well, by the time I got there in 1983, all the neighborhoods were already set. You know, the Crips originated in the early 70s, and they started in the South Central LA, and they identified themselves by wearing the color blue and called themselves Crips. Well, these guys moved from South Central into Compton, and they started claiming the territories around Compton. Okay, then they started working their way up to north, okay? So there was a group of people on the north side of our city. They lived on Piru Street, and they went to high school called Centennial High. That's the high school Suge graduated from. And their colors were red. And I talked to the guys that basically started the Pyrus, and they lived on Pyru Street in Compton. So basically, to combat the Crips, they just wanted to be different, and their school colors were red. So they adopted the color red, and they called themselves West Side Pyrus. So the Pyrus obviously identified themselves by wearing red, and they spread across the north side of our cities and into Los Angeles. So basically, if you're a Pyru, all the gangs in Compton, they're like West Side Pyru, Looters Park Pyru. They all end in the Pyru Street. If you're in Los Angeles, they all end with blood, like bounty hunter bloods. For instance, was a gang in LA. Hold up, y'all. Let me make sure I read this correctly. If you're in Los Angeles, they all end with blood. Okay, got it. So like bounty hunter bloods, for instance, was a gang in LA. Okay, so they're saying like the name always ends with blood. So if you're from Compton, you're a Pyru. If you're from LA, you're a blood. But they still wear red and claim blood. Okay. Question. DA asked a question. And then with regards to the Crips, tell us about the beginning of the Crips and what colors they identified with and kind of the area of Compton that they claim. Answer. Yeah, like I said, they started basically in South Central in the early 70s, and then they moved into Compton on the south side of the city. Most of the Pyrus are on the north side of our city, and most of the Crips were on the south side of Compton. So they started coming in the early 70s, he says. They claim most of the south side of Compton and identify themselves by wearing the color blue. Okay, and then it says, question. Is it fair to say that Bloods and the Crips had rivalries over territory and other illicit activities? Answer, definitely. Just because one wore red and one wore blue, they didn't like each other. They had an ongoing feud between these guys that started from the beginning. So he interrupts with the question. In understanding gangs, can you tell us a little bit about the structure of a gang? In particular, what the work somebody has to put in to move up into the gang? Answer. Yes, there's basically 3 portions of gangster life. They haven't watched Blood In, Blood Out. That's the problem. Just joking, y'all. They start out from ages 12 to 16, and they're called BGs, or baby gangsters. This is the beginning of a gangster's life, basically. And he doesn't have any respect at this point because he's just learning how to be a gangster. So he's in the neighborhood. He's guarding the territory. He's guarding the neighborhood. He's spray painting on the walls. He's doing low-level stuff, protecting the neighborhood and selling narcotics for the older gangsters. So from about age 16 to about 24, you get into the next phase. And this is called the gangster phase. And this is where these guys earn most of their respect because this is where most of the violent crimes occur. These guys, they start earning their stripes, as we call it, in the streets by going and doing drive-by shootings. They're fighting, they're doing robberies, they're fighting with the police. So basically, the more violent crime you do, the more respect you get amongst the gang members. So you get respect from outside, from other gangs. Also because if you're known as a shooter, someone who's violent, the other gangs are afraid. They give you respect, say, hey, these guys are killers, so we don't want to mess with them. So by the time that they're about 24, 25, they enter the next phase. Most of these guys during this violent phase of the gangster phase, they end up in prison, go to jail. They've done their time. They put in their work in the neighborhood. They have the respect of their peers. So they get out of jail or they move up or they're called OGs. And they're called older gangsters. He further says, now these guys, that's the ultimate respect. They become shot callers because they put in the time. They put in the work for the gang. So they tell the young gangsters what to do. And they listen to them without hesitation because if the younger gangsters don't listen to them, something bad's going to happen to them. Question. And so the shot callers or OGs, they're the ones instructing the soldiers or the gangsters what to do? Answer. That's correct. Question. And you mentioned this a little bit, but I want to develop it a little bit more. If you're a soldier and you're told to do something by an OG or told not to do something by an OG and you disobey, are there consequences? Answer. Definitely. Question. And what are the types of consequences soldiers might face? Answer. Well, we've had anything from them getting beat down by their fellow gangsters all the way up to murder. Question. So now I wanted to focus a little bit on the Southside Compton Crips. Specifically, are you aware of the Specifically, are you aware of a group called Southside Compton Crips? He answers, yes, sir. Question, were they also just called Southside Crips? Answer, yes. Question, and when we say Southside Compton Crips and Southside Crips, are we talking about the same group? Answer, yes. Question, do they have a particular territory in Compton? Answer, yes. They're one of our largest gangs. They encompass a square half mile in each direction, and they're located in the southeast portion of Compton. Question, and do they have any particular colors that they wear or any type of custom that are specific to Southside Compton Crips? Answer, yes. They identify themselves by wearing blue. So if you contact a Southside Crip gang member, he'll have some sort of blue on him, blue shoelace, a blue bandana, a blue belt, anything blue. They wear blue hats. They adopted the Seattle Mariners because it had an S on it, and it was a blue hat with an S on it. So it stood out for the Southside Crips. He further goes, now, there was probably over 100 active gang members documented in Southside Crips. And I guess they're one of our most notorious gangs. In over my 12 years in the gang unit, I investigated every type of crime imaginable with these guys, all the way up from possession of assault rifles to sales of narcotics to robbery and murder, he says. Question. So it would be fair to say that one of the common activities of the Southside Crips would be to commit felonies, as you mentioned, to include narcotics transactions, weapons, discharges, and murders, beatdowns, robberies, etc., etc.? Answer, yes, sir. Okay, question. You had mentioned shooters before. Is there a way that shooters sometimes have to do to go from BG status to soldier status or gangster status? Answer. Well, like I said, most of them, when they become a gangster, they do most of the violent crimes. So they're going to be your shooters and the guy that go on drive-by shootings and commit robberies and so on. Question. Are you familiar? I'm going to show you what's been marked as state or grand jury exhibit number 3. Are you familiar with somebody by the name of Orlando Anderson? He says yes. Question. We're pulling up 3. I'm displaying for the record grand jury exhibit number 3 on the monitor. Do you recognize that person? He answers yes. Give me 1 second, guys. So he says, yes, that's Orlando Anderson. Question. In your time working gangs in Compton in the 90s, did you become familiar with Mr. Anderson? He answers yes. Question. How so? Answer. I'm very familiar with Orlando Anderson. I've seen him many, many times in the Southside Crip neighborhoods and in other places also. He admitted to me that he had a nickname, that he goes by Baby Lane. Okay? He admitted that he's a Southside Crip member. When I would see him, he would also be in the company of other Southside Crip gang members. And I guess you could say that I was there for his initiation into the gang. What? Initiation into the gang? Me and my partner were coming out of a fast food restaurant just adjacent to their territory, and Orlando and the 2 other Southside Crips were waiting for us to come out in the bushes, and then they opened fire and shot at us. And so, like I say, I watched him grow up in the neighborhood. In my book, he's definitely a hardcore gangster because at the time of Tupac shooting, we had already investigated him on 2 other prior murders, gang-related murders in the city of Compton. Whoa, I didn't know this. Wow, that was news to me. Question. And then with regards to Mr. Anderson, you were aware of him being a shooter and his status with Southside Crips? Yes, sir. You knew about that, Brandon? Okay, shout out to you. I didn't know about that. See, I didn't really know too much about Baby Lane. He says, yes, sir. Okay, question. I want to ask you about a guy named DeAndre Smith. Okay, hold up, y'all. Give me one sec. And then he goes, okay. And so he says, I want to ask you about a guy named DeAndre Smith. That will be grand jury exhibit number. He says, do you recognize the person depicted in the grand jury exhibit number 4? He answers, yes, that's DeAndre Smith. Okay, so for those that don't know, we talked about DeAndre Smith here. He is said to be the shooter. That's what people have said. At least this is DeAndre Smith. Hold up, y'all. See if I can put this down real quick. So y'all see where the chat is at? Right here. He's right next to the guy with the blue shirt. This is Dirt Rock. This is DeAndre Smith. He's one of the big guys. I think he died in like 2013 and stuff like that. But yeah, just so people are aware. Thank you. Yes, y'all hit the like button, please, and thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so when it goes, go back a little bit. He says, yes, that's DeAndre Smith. And how do you know Mr. Smith? He says, again, during my time in the streets of Compton, I had dealings with him many, many times. He admitted to me his nickname was Big Dre. Okay. He admitted that he was a Southside Crip gang member, and he was always in the company of other Southside Crip gangs. See, I think I could. Okay, well, I guess not. Okay. Question. You had mentioned that during the mid-90s, excuse me, you were aware that Mr. Anderson was in the soldier phase of his gangster evolution. Is that right? Answer. That's correct. Question. Where was Mr. Smith in the phase of his gangster status? Answer. He was the same as Orlando. As a matter of fact, they were friends. I would see them together all the time. Question. I'm going to show you grand jury exhibit number 5, okay? So you had mentioned that before we go to grand jury exhibit number 5, you had mentioned that you had investigated Mr. Anderson regarding a murder of 2 priors to the incident. But here in Las Vegas, is that right? He answers, yes. Yeah, he died of health complications. He was a pretty big guy. But again, the story goes is that Dre Smith is the shooter. He was a real shooter. That's what the story is said. I mean, it just changes, man. Just changes, okay? He says, question, and was Mr. Smith involved in any of those activities? Answer, yes. He was involved in one incident with Orlando Anderson, where they supposedly killed somebody at a party over an argument. Question, so is it fair that this helps inform you that they were both active gang members and the level of where they were in the hierarchy of the Southside Compton Crips? He answers, yes, sir. Question. Now, I'm going to show you grand jury exhibit number 5. Do you recognize the person depicted in grand jury number 5? He answers, yes, that's Terry Brown or Terrence Brown. All right, he's also in our picture here, y'all. I'll show you in a minute. And did he have a nickname? Answer, yeah, they called him Bubble Up. Okay, so they say that Bubble Up was the driver the night of the Tupac Shakur shooting. How did you know Mr. Brown? He answered again, I would see him many, many times. He admitted to me his nickname was Bubble Up. He admitted that he was a Southside Crip gang member when I saw him, and he was always in the company of the other Southside Crip gang members. I would put him in the gangster hardcore phase also, he says. He was arrested, I know, for rug and weapons violation. Okay, so here is Bubble Up is the one on the bottom where it says driver. Y'all see? So you have DeAndre Smith, Bubble Up. You'll see the pictures on the bottom. You can see it right there. Let's see. Have y'all seen the video? Yeah. You talking about the where Orlando? Yes, we did see it. No, we didn't see the music. I've seen it. Redmond, right? The first one was Redmond. Was there any other ones after that, Brandon? Let me know. Because they were all in that music video. Super, you said I'm mixed with Samoan, Latino, and Black for my Black side. Yeah, my children are half Mexican and half Samoan. So that's interesting. I didn't know you were mixed. Shout out to you. Let me see. Let me go up a little bit. Yeah, he was in a music video. He was in Redmond's music video. I forgot the name of it. Brandon, do you know the name of it? But that's the only one. Was there any other music videos? I feel like that, and you see Orlando, he looks like a little child, honestly. He's so young in that video, honestly. Okay, let's go back because we gotta skedaddle here and talk. All right, so here we go. All right, let's see. Then it goes. Now, you had mentioned before that you had talked to a lot of people, both in custody and out of custody. And now you're talking about these gangsters talking to you about, what their nicknames and admitting what gangs they're in. As somebody who did, so many years in the gang unit out in Compton, do you have any explanation as to why people would talk to you or your partners as to what they were doing? So they were in the neighborhood, or who was in the neighborhood, or who they were in the neighborhood? That's the question. Answer, yeah, we in patrol, we let patrol be the bad guy. So if they're hanging out, drinking and shooting dice on the corner, whatever, patrol would come up and they would shoot them off. So they didn't like patrol. So when we were in the gang unit, we took a different approach because we needed to gather intelligence as to who's fighting who's the main player, and what their nicknames are. So when we contacted them, it would be on more of a casual basis unless we saw them committing a crime or something they'd have to deal with. So we go and we wore jeans and t-shirts that said police on it, and we had an unmarked car. So they knew who we were, of course, but we would, oh shit, hold up, y'all. Somebody dropped something. Whew, scared me, y'all. One sec. Baby Bunny has a bubble machine, and she picked it up and she dropped it. It was so loud, and it cracked. Clearly it cracked, y'all. Sorry. I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? That shit scared me. I don't know why. Okay, so he says that. So we go and we wore jeans and t-shirts, so that said police on it, and we had an unmarked car, so they knew who we were, and of course. But we would go out there more on a casual basis and contact these guys and talk with them. So it's kind of like they would play like, oh, we're the good guy, bad. The patrol guys are the bad guys. The patrol guys are the bad guys, right? We're the good guys. You come and you tell us, and I could see that. It's totally giving, I don't know, some of these officers give me what was that one movie, Training Day? Alonzo. Shout out to Denzel Washington. I hated that. Every time he played the bad guy, I didn't like Denzel Washington playing the bad guy. He says, okay, question. And is it fair to say that even with some of these hardcore gangsters, you would be able to have, normal, casual, civilized conversations with them? Answer, yes, because over the years, we would build up a rapport with these guys. I mean, they knew us and we knew them, and they knew if they crossed the line, we could arrest them, but we weren't going to sweat them on small stuff, so they would talk to us. Question, is it fair to say that you and your partner had first, you and your partner were well known within the 10 square miles of Compton as gang detectives? Answer, yes. Question, and who was the partner at that time? Answer, Tim Brennan. Question, did he have a nickname? Answer, yeah, all the gangsters called him Blondie because he had blonde hair and blue eyes. Wait, Blondie for, I guess, man. That is hilarious. Sorry, y'all. I'm just like, they called him Blondie. I don't think that was a term of endearment at all. Just saying. Question, but wasn't Mr. Brennan actually featured in one or more songs reference to Blondie? He says, yes. Question, now I'm going to refer to your attention to Grand Jury Exhibit number 2. Do you recognize the person depicted in the Grand Jury Exhibit number 2? Answer, yes, that's Keith Dwayne Davis, he says. Question, and were you aware of any nickname he went by? Yeah, they called him Keefy D. Question, and did you have any interactions with Mr. Davis? Answer, yes. I had many interactions with Mr. Davis throughout my years in Compton. He admitted to me that he was a Southside Crip. He admitted to me that his nickname was Keefy D. And I basically used to chase him around. He used to sell rugs on the streets when he was a young kid. And I watched him grow up to be one of the biggest narcotics dealers in Compton. Question. Now we talk about the structure from baby G's to gangsters to OGs. In the mid-90s, where was Mr. Davis to the hierarchy? Answer, he was definitely a shot caller. He ran it was a fraction. Southside Crips used to be one big happy family, but they had an internal feud and they split into 2 fractions, and Keefy D ran. They called him the Burris Street Crew, and he was definitely the leader. Okay. Ben's like Golden. I'm like, I don't think they're calling you Blondie as a term of endearment. And then they're featuring you in 2 songs, I guess, man. I mean, if they're not calling you Pig, I guess Blondie would be cute. I don't know. Question. Now, in the Burris Street Crew, would you include Orlando Anderson? He says, yes. Question. Would you include DeAndre Smith? He says, yes. Question. Would you include Terrence Brown? He says, yes. Okay, so all the people that were in the car, he's including in this little thing, okay? And we had talked earlier about what people with the various roles within the gang had to do. So if Mr. Davis is the OG/shot caller, is it your expert opinion that Mr. Anderson, Mr. Smith, and Mr. Brown would be required to follow the orders of Mr. Davis? He answers yes. Question, what is it? Question, sorry. And is it also your opinion that if Mr. Davis told them not to do something, would they also not to do something? Hold up. And is it also your opinion that if Mr. Davis told them not to do something, would they also not do that? Answer, yes. Question. And so when we're talking about just generally a violent act, in your expert opinion, would either Mr. Anderson, Mr. Smith, or Mr. Brown shoot somebody without the express statement of Mr. Davis to shoot them? Answer, if he was there with them and he ran the show, they would do what he said. Question, so if he wasn't there, they might have done something on their own. Answer, correct. Question, if he's with them, they're not shooting anybody else unless Mr. Davis is giving them the green light. Answer, that's correct, he says. Question, he was literally a shot caller. Answer, without a doubt. It kind of goes with the song. Well, I don't know if a lot of people know the song, but yeah, kind of the. Anyways, let me stop. I'm thinking of music. Okay, question. I want to ask you something I kind of skipped over before, and I meant to go back. Answer, no problem. Question, how important is respect in the gang culture? Answer, it's huge. These guys live their lives based on respect. They demand it. And like I said, they have to earn respect, so the more violent they are, the more crazy they are, the more respect they get. Question, now tell me about respect. Now tell me about disrespect. How is that viewed within the gang culture? Answer, disrespect and retaliation go. To me, they go hand in hand. This respect of these guys, I'm trying to find the word here. Hold on, he says. Let me see. Based on thousands of crimes that I committed, I don't think he meant to say committed, but that's what he says. I'd say 90% of them are a result of disrespect within the gang culture. Now, an example of this would be gangster walking down the street. A rival gang shows up in a car, and say there's 5 of them in the car. They jump down and beat this gangster down. Well, he's got to go back to his neighborhood. They always say, hey, these guys came over here. They disrespected me. They beat me down. We got to go retaliate, because if you disrespect one gangster, you disrespect all the gangsters. Another example of this would be a carload comes in your neighborhood, or they do a drive-by and they shoot one of your homies, as they say. So what do they always say? Hey, they came in our neighborhood. They shot one of my homies. They totally disrespected us. Now we got to go retaliate. So it's kind of like a revolving door with these guys, with the disrespect and the retaliation. Question, and I think you misspoke, he says. You said thousands of crimes you committed. Yeah, that was, I was like, who? Thousands of crimes Mr. Ladd, Robert Ladd, the officer, committed. He just called him on that. I think you meant to say thousands of crimes that you investigated. Answer, he says. Yeah, that I investigated. I'm sorry. Question. All right. Now I want to turn your attention to a group called Mob Piru. Are you familiar with them? Yes. Okay. And can you tell us a little bit about Mob Piru? Yes. They're located in the northeast portion of our city. So they're probably about a mile from where the Compton Crips start. They're a mile apart. They're a smaller gang. Their territory is probably only a quarter mile in each direction. These guys originated in the 1975, 1976. And they were offshoot of one of the largest gangs called the Looters Park Piru. Now, these group of next generation, they wanted to get their own territory, their own arena, so they started up Mob Piru, which stands for Members of Bloods. Now, these guys, they're probably 35 to 45 active Mob Piru gang members. And again, during my time in Compton, I investigated every type of crime imaginable with these guys, all the way up to possession of firearms, sales of narcotics, all the way up to robbery and murder. Question, and I think I skipped too far ahead with regards to Keefe, who's depicted right now on Grand Jury Exhibit number 2. You had mentioned that you had information through your investigation that Mr. Davis was a big-time drug dealer. Can you describe for us what level of narcotics distribution that can you describe for us what level of narcotics distribution that Mr. Davis had? Excuse me. He answers, yeah, he had the highest level there is. I mean, he trafficked drugs across the United States. How do I know this? Because in our gang unit, we were inundated with shootings and murders. So we didn't have the manpower or the time to deal with someone like KVD at his level. So during my time in the gang unit, we were contacted by different agencies like the FBI and the DEA who wanted intelligence on Mr. Keefe D. And they told us that he was trafficking drugs or narcotics across from the country, and they were going to investigate it. He's also been investigated for trafficking in narcotics too in the past. Question, in terms of how that were the places him in the hierarchy of the gang, does being somebody who can generate revenue through the sale of narcotics, especially the gang? He answers yes. Question, what is the revenue base for people to purchase firearms or to have any of the things that are associated with the gang life? Answer, every gang in Compton, the sale of narcotics is their lifeline. Most of them don't work, so they sell rugs to pay their rent. They sell rugs to buy their weapons and more rugs to buy their cars, and it's the lifeline of a gang, really. Question, and so is it fair to say that at least in the mid-90s, Mr. Davis was the person providing the lifeline to his group of the Southside Compton Crips? He answers, definitely. Question, and then I'm going to show you grand jury exhibit number 7. Do you recognize the person depicted in grand jury number 7? He answers, yes. I don't know his real name, but I only know him as Zip. All right, enter the chat, Zip. Who's Zip? Put in the chat. If y'all been following us for all week, y'all should know who Zip is if you've been following all week. Who's Zip? Zip, 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 zip. Who's Zip? Put in the chat if you've been following. Let me know. Hold up. Let me see. Highlight. So they show a picture of Zip here. Oh, did the chat freeze? Hopefully not. Hopefully you guys are here, because I don't see the chat moving anymore. No. Zip is not. Zip has entered the chat. Orlando. Thank you. Okay. But who's and how is Zip involved? What is the story? Oh, Zip is not Orlando. Look, here's my picture. Orlando is Keefy D's nephew. Zip is the one at the very end. He's connected to who? That then connected Keefy D to who? Right, but who is Zip connected to? Who's the bigger person? Yeah. Zip gave the it's okay. I know this is why it's good to have pictures so y'all can see the picture, because it's easy to get them mixed up. Diddy, thank you. Belen's like, I only know of Zip's sports bar. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Yep. Ultimately, the diddler, the Tootsie Roller. That's right, the Tootsie Roller. He's connected to the Tootsie Roller. Zip is connected to the Tootsie Roller. All right. He shows an exhibit. He says, yeah, I don't know his real name, but I only know him as Zip. He says. So the officer, Robert Ladd, okay, said, I don't know his real name. We know him as Zip. Okay, the DA continues. And did he have any connections to Mr. Davis that you became aware of in the course of your investigation and your involvement investigating Southside Compton Crips? Answer, yes. We were told that this guy Zip was his connection to the East Coast in New York. Question, so is it fair to say that Mr. Davis was, when you said Mr. Davis was supplying narcotics throughout the nation, it is fair to say that the person depicted in grand jury exhibit number 7, Zip, was the one of the people who he was transacting narcotics through to the East Coast? Answer, that's correct. Question, okay, so going back to the Southside Compton Crips. I'm sorry, we're going to go back to Ma Piru. Were you aware of whether or not in the mid-90s Ma Piru had an association with a record label? He answers yes. These guys were associated with Death Row Records with Suge Knight. Suge Knight grew up in the Ma Piru territory, so he wasn't a gang member. He lived in the neighborhood and knew all these guys. So when he started the label Death Row Records, he hired all these guys from Ma Piru as his bodyguards, his entourage. Okay. Answer. So I want to talk about some of the people that Suge Knight had working for him as security during the mid-90s. Can you show grand jury exhibit number 6? Do you recognize the person depicted in grand jury number 6? Answer, yeah, that's Trevin Lane. Is it Trayvon Lane or Trevin Lane? I've heard it say both ways. Somebody correct me. Brandon, is it Trayvon Lane or Trevin Lane? I think it was Trayvon, and they keep misspelling his name. Trayvon Lane. Mr. Lane. Okay, here's the question. Mr. Lane, did he have any associates with Ma Pyru? Answer, yes. Again, I had many contacts with him over the years. They called him Trey, he says. He admitted to me he was a Ma Pyru gang member, and he was always with other Ma Pyru gang members, and he was the one of Suge's bodyguards. And to me, being a gang expert, Suge Knight wasn't going to hire somebody that wasn't tough or hardcore guy to be his bodyguard and defend him. So these guys were hardcore gang members. Trayvon, okay, it's not a Y, right? I've seen it in the transcripts. They spelled it with the Y when they were interviewing Dirt Rock. That's why I have to ask. Trayvon. Okay. Thank you. And then question. Now, did you know somebody that went by the alias of Neckbone? Enter the chat, Neckbone. I'm really hungry. Some netbook. Like I'm thinking about some Mexican food right now. Some birria. That's what I'm thinking about. All right, sorry, y'all. I got it. Thought neck bone. I'm like, okay, birria. Anyways, let me stop. Okay, so these guys were hardcore gang members, he says. Question. Now, did you know somebody that went by the alias of Neckbone? Answer, yes. That was Roger Williams. Yes. Okay. Question. And did Mr. Roger Williams have any association with Ma Pyru? He answers, yes. He was a Ma Pyru gangster, and he was called Neckbone. He was also one of Suge Knight's bodyguards. Dun, dun, dun. Now we need enter the chat, Neckbone. All right, let me stop right here, y'all, because I'm starving. I gotta go get some food. I'll be live later on tonight, so we can finish volume 4. This is volume 4. Yeah, it is volume 4. We're gonna finish volume 4. Maybe get started on volume 5. So tomorrow we'll do volume 5, 6, Sunday 7 and 8. We're gonna try to stay on schedule. I really need some birria right now. Yeah, I need some birria tacos or something. I don't know. I heard Neckbone, and I'm like, ooh, why did I associate Neckbone with birria? Damn it, why did they call that guy Neckbone? I need to see a picture. I don't think I've ever seen a picture of this guy. Does he have like a fat ass neck bone or something? Is he big or what? Why do they call him Neckbone? Some of these like chicken bone. Why do they call him Neckbone? All right, let me stop. Let me stop right here, y'all. I'm starving. I gotta eat. Birria taco sounds amazing. All right. Okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you're gonna join us later tonight in a couple hours. I don't know what time yet, but I gotta eat. It's either gonna be a chimichanga or a something. Whatever that is. Thank you so much, Bridget, for the Cash App. I appreciate you. Thank you. I just saw it. Thank you. Shout out to you. All right, y'all gonna be like, okay. You said I'm about to go make some fish and chips. Ooh. Okay. Neckbone tacos. There you go. The birria has entered the chat. I'm starving, y'all. I gotta go eat. Okay. I will see you guys later on. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button, please. And thank you. And Venus Blue, thank you so much for your 27-month membership. Shout out to you, love. Thank you. That sounds. Thank you. No neck bones. Neck bone tacos. That sounds really good. I don't know why. For ramen for me, I'm so hungry. I'm starving. Oh my God. And Belen, shout out to you, man. I've been taking those kava things. Those little, I still have them. I got a couple more. I might order my own. They're pretty good. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. I have a birthday. Is it your birthday? Mar, is it your birthday? Shout out to you. Happy birthday if it's for you or for somebody else. But I'll see you guys later, okay? Because I'm starving, y'all. I got to eat something. I can't eat candy because that's bad for me. I can't just be eating candy. All right. I'll see you guys later. All right. Be nice. Be good. Take care. Bye, guys. Bye. All right. Bye, guys.